Everyone, welcome back to Faith Fit Mom. I am Latasha Alana. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. I appreciate you for watching. Today I'm going to be talking about the cons of living in Houston, okay? I want to get detailed and down to the nitty gritty and really take my time and explain. So that's why I split the videos up instead of doing both pros and cons together. I can probably be a little bit long-winded, but soon I will learn how to, be more concise in how I speak. YouTube is all new to me, and I will get better over time. I've been living here for 1 whole year and some, and I can give you pretty much some insight on, my experience and the things that I dislike about living here. So if you are planning on moving to Houston, definitely want to stay tuned because I'm going to be sharing some really good nuggets that could be useful to you on making that decision to move here. But I don't want to discourage you. These are just things that I've experienced and that I just don't quite like. But the good thing is the pros outweigh the cons, and so that's why I'm still here. All right, so if you want to hear what these cons are, stay tuned. Don't you just love my new background? Trying something a little bit different, switching things up. Actually, I just celebrated a birthday, so I just left the decorations up. No, my shirt kind of matches and blends in with it. But if you have not already subscribed to my channel, now is a wonderful time to do so. Click on that red button that says subscribe. So welcome back. So let me get right into these cons. Number one, I would say traffic out here is horrendous. It doesn't make any type of sense why the traffic is the way it is. Now, I don't drive. My mode of transportation is Uber, Lyft, other people driving me around, and the traffic is definitely retarded, okay? I'm from New York, and I understand why the traffic is the way it is. Out here in Houston, traffic is anytime. I don't understand. City and a state that's so huge, so spacious, so spread out with 6 lanes, 5 to 6 lanes, why there's so much traffic. There's a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of people moving into the city. And then there are very bad drivers. People out here do not know how to drive. Let me tell you, there's road rage out here. And I can't understand, like, a city so laid back where people are so friendly, why is there so much road rage? Like, I've seen a lot of crazy things happen. Like, people driving and just hitting other cars and driving off like nothing, like that's normal. I was in a Lyft car and we're going straight. This other car is trying to get to the exit. The exit is over here. We're going straight. This car comes from behind us, zooms past us to get to the exit. We almost hit the car. The driver had to slam on the brake so that we did not hit him. I mean, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. So when I used to watch videos on people talking about how crazy the traffic is, I used to be like, there could not be no place worse than New York. But I agree, the traffic out here is terrible and it could happen at any random part of the day. There is a big sign on a lot of the freeways that say there's been over 2,000 deaths this year alone, and the year's not even up yet. 2,000 deaths because of accidents on the road. So I will be prayed up when I get my car because it is not a game, okay? I will be taking my time and let Jesus literally take the wheel, okay? Now, I also use the Metro Rail, the train out here. Metro Rail is the train for Houston. And so it's not like in New York where there's the subway. And please forgive me, I'm going to be doing a lot of comparisons to New York because that's just how I'm basing things off of. But in New York, we have the subway. Out here, there is the Metro Rail, which is street level with the cars and the trucks and all the other vehicles. So it's kind of weird and cool at the same time. But when you're crossing certain streets that have the Metro Rail, you're stepping on the tracks. And it's like, it feels so weird because coming from New York, you don't step on those tracks. You don't go down off of the platform and step on the tracks to get to the other side. You know, because that third rail is going to get you. Now out here, when I had to step on it for the first time, I'm like, am I going to get electrocuted? Like, but it's not like that. You're literally stepping across the tracks to get across the street. So it's really weird. And then I feel weird because I'm like, is the train going to come out of nowhere and just hit me? So also what I don't really like about taking the Metro Rail is that you see all types of people. When I say all types of people, there's a lot of homeless people on there and they smell. There's a lot of mentally ill people that are talking to themselves. There's people that are doing things that you quite don't really want to see. And it's not like you can get up and go to the next car. There's only 2 cars. The train is about this small, okay? And you cannot go in between the cars, walk in between the cars like you do in New York where you go from car to car. No, it's 2 cars and that's it. That's the whole train, okay? And so if you see somebody acting crazy in that car, you're stuck, okay? Until you get to the next stop and you can go to the next one, the next car, but you might see some more crazy people in that car. So beware of that if you do decide to use the Metro Rail as your mode of transportation. They do have the inspectors that ride the train and police that get on the train. So, they really do a good job of making sure that the trains are safe. But you don't know who you're going to sit next to and what you're going to run into. So you got to definitely take precautions when you get on the Metro Rail. But for the most part, it's not a hectic commute at all. Okay, so I love that part. Also, some of the card machines for the Metro Rail don't work. I'm so used to New York system with, how the machines work. And so being new here, I had to figure out how do you put your money on the card. It's not as straightforward. The machines don't work. Sometimes you're pressing the buttons and it's sticking and doesn't go to the next prompt. And it's just kind of frustrating. So that's a little bit annoying, and it's not as easy to refill your card like you can in New York. They have different methods where you could do it online, but I got to figure it out and get used to the program out here. Now, what Houstonians call close is not really close. This irks me. You might be going somewhere, right? And you ask them how long is it going to take, and they'll talk about miles. Like in New York, we don't say miles. We talk in minutes. They talk a lot in miles out here. So I don't be knowing what that means when they say 5 miles, 3 miles. I want to know in time format, how long is it going to take? When they say, oh, it's down the road for Houstonians, or I guess Texans, is not really down the road. Down the road for a New Yorker is I can literally walk there in 5 minutes. That's what I mean when I say down the road. But for them, down the road is the next town over 15, 20 minutes later. But why are we still driving when y'all just said down the road? This is not down the road. Down the road, I mean like 2 lights down. That's down the road, but not 5 lights down, you turn, you go another 5 lights, you turn again, you go ride for another 10 minutes. Things are really spaced out and far out here. You're driving, and you're driving. Good thing I live in an area where things are kind of in the same vicinity and I can get to it on the Metro Rail, or it could be a 5-minute Lyft Uber drive. Okay. There's no corner stores. I wish there were more corner stores. I wish there were corner stores. There's no corner stores. Like, I'm from New York and I could just go walk up the block. They have sidewalks, but you could be walking down the street and all of a sudden the sidewalk disappears. There's no more sidewalk. Where did the sidewalk go? You're walking on grass or you're walking on dirt. Like, where did the rest of the pavement go? Be careful at the places where you walk. Houston is not really a walkable city. However, there are parts of the city that are becoming very walkable. It's much so a driving city, driving state. And when people see you walking, it looks strange. Now, I'm a New Yorker. We love to walk in New York, right? My area where I live is pretty walkable. But a lot of times if you're walking, you're not really walking to anything that It's really exciting because there are a lot of residential homes in my area. So good thing I do have a park and I have this strip mall, but that's about it. So yeah, definitely try to get your car if you can, or just don't walk places that look suspicious. Okay, the weather. Now this is both a pro and a con. Why I put it under the con is the fact that in the summertime at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, it is super duper hot. Hot to the point where you're sweating if you're just outside for like 2-3 minutes. You're dripping sweat. The humidity, it's real out here. It's thick and you are sweating and you don't even have to do much. Okay? That's a con, but me coming from a state like New York where majority of the time is cold and it's crappy weather and we only get like 2 months of summer, I'd rather take being hot and sweltering, sticky and sweaty over being cold and frigid, and I can't do nothing about me being cold. The amount of layers I need to put on to be warm I don't want to wear all those clothes. I just don't. And I'm still cold, even with all those layers. Some part of my body is cold. So I would prefer to be hot than cold. So that's one of the reasons why I moved here. Another thing that I don't really quite like about how Houston's school system is set up. Now I have a 4-year-old, and the way your child is eligible to get into the school, they have to be a certain age before a certain time of year. So for my son to get into pre-K, he would have to be 4 years old on or before September 1st. His birthday is September 18th. They do not allow your child to come into pre-K until they are 4. Okay? So then if he's 3 after September 1st, he's not eligible to get in. And it'll be the same thing once he gets into kindergarten. And I didn't really realize that. I did not research the entry of getting into a school. I thought all school systems are set up the same, but apparently not. So in New York, if your child is born in the year 2015, they are eligible for pre-K. If they're 3 in December, they're still eligible for pre-K. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like that in Texas. So I had to, let my son stay with his dad to go to school because it's free and, it's no like any particular age for him to get in. So do your research on the school system, entry. Like all I knew is that Houston has a good school. So that's all I was really concerned about. Are the schools good? Yes. But what is the entry? Now, I'm a new mom, so I don't really know how to go about doing certain things like this. If my mom was here, she probably would have said, you need to look into that. But, these are just the lessons that I'm learning as a new mom and how to navigate. But make sure you do your research on that. So that's it for my cons. So yes, the traffic, the metro rail, all types of people, you just don't know what you're going to see. And, things in Texas are really spaced out far, so you do need a car. However, you can get around without one. I'm a living example of what it's like to get around Houston without a car. Maybe I'll do a little video on like my day-to-day stuff, like how I get around, how I'm making it happen. It's been a whole year and some, and I don't have a car.